Okay, okay.
while editing part from this.
Mm.
So, yeah. Hi guys, welcome to our channel Tech, and we have our guest Shahid. Hi Shahid. So,
I,
yeah, he'll introduce himself. Yeah, Shahid.
oh, you want me to
Yeah,
introduce
yeah,
myself?
introduce
Okay, okay. I thought
yourself.
you were going to
Yeah,
introduce.
I
Okay.
mean, it would be great
Uh,
if you do.
so I'm Shahid, a 20-year-old entrepreneur who's trying to build the next gen rehab products, and also the founder and CEO of Capablo Metacognitive. So we are basically focused on making 3D printing prosthetics as well as assistive tech for elderly patients is what we are really focusing on.
Yeah, hi, and how this journey started, Shahid?
So yeah, so journey really, I don't know from where it start, but I think let me start a little bit from my school days. So I think when earlier I had done my schooling for 10 years in Kuwait, and then I came back to India. I think during my seventh grade or something. And then yeah, it went normal. It wasn't really much exciting. So I was not able to make much friends because of the language barrier which I had. So as people always used to speak Tamil over here, so I never knew any words in Tamil. So I learned later on. I did learn later on, and but still it was too late for me because I came to 11th 12th grade where we had even COVID. So there was a huge break in between, and I wasn't able to much really do much in school time. And then
Yeah.
my parents really didn't think that I would do great in 12th boards. So they beforehand they took admission and they put me into Satyabama because they don't have any what do you say the fees. I mean not fees. They call something where you purely give money and then you book seat. So it is all purely based with marks is what they give over there. So purely my mom and dad, I mean my mom and sister went and booked in Satyabama, and then I never knew this thing. And then later on, when they're coming me and telling, we booked seats for you. It's already done that you're going to Satyabama. I was like, what the hell? And then I was quite surprised. And then I think, fine, okay, fine. Something or the other, I'm getting into some college. And apparently, I got 80% in my 12th grade, which everyone was shocked. They're like, oh my God, Shahid scored 80%. There's no way.
Were you
I thought
shocked
I'm
by
going to.
getting 80%?
I mean, I did have that confidence that I'll do good, but yeah, I did have the confidence that I will get. Apparently, they really doubted me that, I'm going to really get that mark. They thought I'm going to just pass or I'm going to get like 49, 50 or something. Then, yeah, okay, I did prove them wrong over there. And then that is where my thing started. Where I chose BTech biomedical engineering because personally felt that, medical field, because at that time, COVID recently went and everyone started losing their jobs, only except for one field, which was like medical side. I think that was the only side which was, kind of surviving. Others, everyone were, moved on.
That
And I
time
was
A
like,
and all was not there, right?
exactly. AI wasn't there at that time. But yeah, so I thought, okay, fine, medical field would be, ideal for anyone, to join at that time. So I chose biomedical engineering, and then first year went by. As usual, nothing special. So as usual, classes and everything. I didn't have any awareness about what really startup is. So when I came to second year, there was this event which happened in our college. It's called Techno Summit. So it is like a huge event which happens every year in our college, where you have different events which occurs over there. So there was this event called paper presentation event. So me and one of my friends, I told her that we'll go pitch over there, and then we're like, very good. For the first time, we are going in pitching. Good, karke. And then we went. So my first research was on squint eyes, where people without they have disalignment in the
Yeah, yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
So for them, if we are kind of exercise we can do was our proposal idea. So over there, people did really after me finishing my presentation. I for the first time I felt that I got really appreciated well, and I did well. I personally felt little different because I like normally people used to always tell me people will be good at one thing. You have to find out what really what really is that the hidden talent which you really have inside.
And you
I was
found
never
out that
yeah
that's your
over there.
hidden talent.
Exactly. I think that was the place where I found out, okay, fine, this might be the place where I'm good at, where I could, I was little good at, public speaking and, conveying things outside. So I think that is where I was like, fine, let's focus on this and let's try to build. That is when I think next, me and I think the same friend, we went to a pitch event in SRM college. So that was the first time us pitching, and I thought, okay, fine. I really pitched well. I was really confident, but as I entered the stage, I started shivering. I started panicking. Like, what's happening? I started, I don't know. I was so confused. What was happening over there to
Probably
me?
like stage fear. Everyone
Yeah,
might have faced
exactly.
it first time.
So everything just came up to me, and I was like, I messed up totally. I mean, I didn't really mess up, but I knew that wasn't the full me over there, which I did. So I was like, fine, let's, try to improvise. Let's go for more pitch events. And I didn't give up at that time. I was like, fine, let's see more. Let's do more on it. So I really thought, okay, because always I used to, before when I was in school days, uh, and like I used to go for, short put. I used to go for even dance events. I used to even go for, story writing and everything. So
Oh,
everything I was mid at everything. I wasn't able to, be really great at anything.
like
So
jack
I
of
used
all
to
trade,
think,
master of none.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, what if this could be the same thing? That is what I thought. But I was like, why not give it a try again? That is where I think the next pitch event, I think we did it in MGR College, I think. So
Hmm.
over there, for the first time, we won first place over there. That is where I thought, okay, fine, we have, good potential where I could really, speak up and, I could convey what really I want to. That is where I think I started going, and next I went to a college for Crescent, and then I think I went to like 10 to 15 colleges in that 6 months. And then I started pitching, out of which I think I won around like 12 to 13. I think I lost only two places, I would say. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm doing good. And then there was a staff in the last pitch event, which was happening in assistant college. And then she was like, why don't you do this as a startup? And then I never knew what really startup is at that time. And then I did a deep research on what really it is. And then I understood, okay, fine, this goes like a company thingy where you have to do it like a business. And then I was like, yeah, why not? Sounds interesting, because I always wanted to do business from when I was young. But then it always, was in back of my mind. I never knew it would come out this soon. And then when I came, I mean, when I did tell her, one of my, co-founders about it, that, I have so and so idea. And then she's like, yeah, why not? Crazy. And, she also was part of it, and we started doing it. And I think our first grant was in the year end last year December, where we got from EDA around like 3,75,000. So that is where we really put into our mind that, okay, this really has potential, because we wanted to validate in a scale where we didn't want it to waste our time. So I think that was a great place, because we were still in like second year end, and they were like all the government people, were sitting in right in front of us. And I still remember that they weren't really convinced the fact that what we proposed over there. So I started, fighting there. I mean, not fighting, it was like a slight mismatch of the mindsets of what they had and what I
Yeah.
had.
Was it like in ideation phase only or
Yeah, it was almost an ideation stage where we just had like a minimal prototype where it was just in breadboard and few
yeah.
sensors on top of it. So I would consider that as an ideation stage only. So I think that really saved us, to be honest, because at the end they really got pissed, the government people who were sitting over there, and they were like, "Do you have prototype?" And then we were like, "Yeah, so we have." And then we went and showed to the panel members. We showed them this is the working. I was like, "Fine, okay." They didn't really tell us anything, and they just told us to move out. And then we didn't have any expectations that we are going to get or not. I remember right because we have this internship which we have to go to Malaysia. We have this student exchange program which happens. So I think right before like a week or so, we got a news. We got a mail telling that you have been selected for so and so grant, and you're getting the grant. And we were quite excited. We were like, okay, fine, for the first time we're getting such huge amount, because normally whenever we go for normally symposiums they give maximum 2,000 or 1,000 rupees. More than that they don't give. So we got in lakhs. We were like, okay, crazy. So we put that into and like one bad thing I would say which happened to us is we didn't have proper money management at that time. So we didn't really know. I mean, we did know that we have to spend the money wisely. But again, I feel like looking back towards it, I don't really think we spend the amount in the right place where we had to, I think. So I think that was the one mistake which we did at that time. But yeah, we didn't, comparative to the people who already got and who wasted totally, yeah, we were way better where we kind of put it on this where we wanted to. I think that was one good thing, and we were kind of dependent on many other people where we were expecting others to help us out. I think that was one bad thing which we did at that time, where we started expecting a lot of other. We never put our mind forward. We always used to think that okay fine, this person will help us and then we'll do. So we never had this mindset where we're like okay fine, why not let us itself do it on that thing. I think that was the mistake which we did, and yeah, we did realize it after 3 months. And then when we got to a second grant, which was in January, which was from Derby Foundation, it was too random. I'll just tell you the story, how did it happen.
Yeah.
So we were in private limited at that time. So we were normal ideation stage, we were in. And we put in our PPT as private limited. So they shortlisted us by saying that thing. We were like, okay, fine, they shortlisted us, let's present it. I think it was Jan 15 at that time where we presented it, and that was what it happened. Right after 2 3 days, they're calling us. They're like, "You have been selected. Give me a bank account to send the money." Because EDI took us, 6 months for the grant amount for us to receive. So we like, fine, it's going to take long time. Okay, chill
So
out.
by the time you would have registered the private
Yeah,
limited company and you would
exactly.
have
But then these people within like 2 days, they're like, "Give me your account," and I was like, "Bro, what is wrong with you? I have not seen private
what's wrong
limited."
with it?
And then, right, I was so lucky. On Jan 23, they're calling me, and then on Jan 23, the company got registered. Uh, I was like, on the same day, both of the thing which happened. I was like, okay, fine. But then they asked for my bank account. So apparently it was a weekend. So obviously Saturday, Sundays, banks are closed.
Yeah.
And one more issue in that is normally in bank accounts, they'll come and check your house. Whether is it really, properly which they're doing, or is it like, they're doing some scam or
Like you're
something.
faking and all.
Yeah, you're faking or something. Luckily, IUB doesn't do that. So IUB you just go fill forms, they'll make and give you the account. So I went to the manager and I spoke like I need account so and so, and then he's like, "You won't get it today. You'll get it tomorrow." Because correct in Monday there was a strike which happened in Chennai. And I was like, bro, what is happening? And then I spoke to the manager like, if you just fill the forms and go, as soon as employees come, I'll tell them to open the account for you. And then the next day they opened and gave it to me, and I was like, fine, okay, good only, at least open. And then yeah, I gave them the bank account, and they were satisfied, and they gave me the amount. And then yeah, that amount we spent it wisely, where we didn't really waste. We put it into proper R&D and everything, but yeah, it went well and things started going good where we started going and meeting investors. And we even got through this show called Startup Singam also,
Yeah.
where
I
we
mean,
really, yeah, where we understood what really, people from outside, they want to know how the, reality, TV shows work. So what I would say is, yeah, it is genuine to a point, but you have to be a differentiator if you're going on alone without any, people knowing inside. You have to be a differentiator. So if you're not being a differentiator, you're just a normal, startup or something, you're doing a D2C product. Maybe you should bring a little bit of a differentiator where those people think, okay, fine, if we bring these people in, it will be good for us. So that was one thing which we had an advantage, where we were the only students over there. Because I think season two was the first season where they got student startups inside. So apparently, we were quite too late to apply for it. We applied for the second phase. If we would have applied for the first phase, maybe we would have gone through the show later on. But then we realized that this is too early for us, where we don't require that amount of money at that point, because getting into investors. So, yeah, I would say Bangalore is like,
so in medical field, you said
hmm,
you have went to Malaysia and all. You think
yeah.
in India there is a lack of infrastructure, or how do you see that?
Comparatively, if you see, still India lacks on the R&D labs, I would say.
Mm.
Like, for example, if someone has a medical device, where is he going to go validate it? So I think that is one major field where India should, little improvise, where they should, build more R&D infrastructures where they could, students or anybody who could really come and validate their ideas easily. Because what I've seen so far in my journey is there are many people who have potential startups, who have potential prototypes, who have potential products ready, but they haven't validated yet because they don't know where to go validate it. Because I remember that I was an jury for a school pitch event which was happening in Anna University. So their students had like crazy ideas. They had literally, medical POC devices. They had ready kits. They had such great ideas with ready products over there. And I don't know how did they get that, mind to do, or how did they get that place to, even do the product. And then apparently they were lacking in that, to validate the idea. So only that one place which everyone lacked is validating. So I did ask them where to go test it, where they didn't have an answer, they didn't know about it. So I think people are only focused now on, making products. So I think if that one part is there, it would go great.
So you're saying like there are people to do, but there is no lack of awareness, like how to come,
Hmm.
what's the next step? Like we did
Exactly.
it and what to take it to next step.
Exactly. How to validate it and where to validate it. I think if that part, we have IT Madras, which is really insane. But again, not all can, go validate their
Yeah,
ideas over there. We should have other hubs also, which could really help, students or people with the prototypes who could validate their idea.
I guess
I mean,
if there is
disabled
an
students.
100 people, only 10 people know like there is an incubation cell or and there is an
Exactly.
IIT
Mm.
Madras which exists in the
Mm.
town.
Yeah, I mean, now awareness has increased where people are knowing what really IT mother, because nowadays potentially who have really good businesses, they want to, get incubated in IT Madras. Before, I think before like 5-10 years, no one knew that, big business people would even go get incubated in colleges. So
Yeah.
now people are dying to get into, such institutions. So I think that is a great, crazy thing which has been happening in startup field, I would say.
So I guess you're working in the hardware part. How do you see like hardware is the most difficult part? I guess like software we can build. Hardware is like you need lot of money to do iteration.
True. Again, I think if your hardware really has potential in it, somewhere or other you're going to survive it. Because
Yeah,
for any grant events you go, any pitch events you go, the one advantage you have is when you're a hardware startup. So I have seen normally in pitch events, there's so many software SaaS products which comes in. I never see them win anywhere because it's really hard for them to survive in a world where they have hardware. So yes, hardware is not easy to crack. You should have a differentiator, because these days even kids are building prototypes where they know what a prototype is. Like I saw like 11th grade kids, they're doing crazy. We are in like college fourth year and still we are doing the hardware. So I think it has gone crazy where even kids are starting to do. So I think you should be a differentiator even though if you do a hardware. I think if you be a differentiator, maybe you could survive this world also.
I guess you have good speaking skills. Maybe we can talk about that. How you have that
Mm.
convincing skills, how that ability came. Because you are saying
Uh,
wherever pitch you go, and you're like, luckily you won, luckily you won. I don't think so. You luckily won. Maybe you have practiced it and you have convinced them.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that should be God gifted, or
Uh,
well, it's not. Yeah, it is God. See, everyone has potential somewhere or other. It's
yeah.
just that where you have to find out that where is that potential and what really you are good at. Because
Like
see, not
figuring
all
out
of
is
them.
difficult
Yeah,
part.
figuring out exactly. Because not all of them can. I personally feel not all of them can become an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
and not all entrepreneurs can become an employee. So it is vice versa also. So maybe you can be a great employee, maybe you can be a great entrepreneur as well. So you should figure out whether you are a great employee or you're a great entrepreneur. I think if you could figure that out is where I think you could do. Because I personally, when I as I told you, my first pitch event, so I spoke really confidently. That was where I felt really special, where people started appreciating me, they started shaking hands with me and all. And then I was like, okay, so this is what I can do it, is what I thought. And then that is where I started improvising myself, where I started going for more and more pitch events. And for the first time, I started tremoring, and then I started, shaking and all. I was shivering in the stage. And then as it goes, I was becoming more and more confident. So that is where I think I built my confidence, and the how much ever you expose yourself out is where you understand more that okay, fine, this is how world works, and you get to know more people, and when you have a good conversation with others, and I think it builds up automatically where you have the confidence. Because I personally I was a very very introverted kind of person when I came from India. I mean, when I came from Kuwait,
Cool.
because over there it was all buildings, flats, and we never used to communicate with others. Only when friends come, we go talk to them. That's it. So when I came India, people are yelling, people are like using bad words and everything. I'm like, bro, what's going on? And even crossing road was a problem for me over here when I first came from India because I never, I wasn't able to show hand and like stop Anna and all. I used to just wait when the roads gets empty and I used to cross. So that was a big disadvantage for me. So I think, yeah, I just started building myself up, and that is where I think I became confident and I started, you know, speaking well, I would say.
So how do you see this startup culture? Like everyone is like random. Every final year student
Uh,
is saying, "I'm doing a
yeah,
startup." Like if
yeah,
you
yeah.
come and see in Bangalore, like if you throw a rock,
Mm.
probably it would fall on some random startup guy. It has become like new engineering, like where
Yeah,
back then everyone used to say, "I used to do engineering." Like and the build and surviving in startup is also a difficult part, I guess, and you know better than me. How is it?
yeah. I would say, yeah, as you told, people are into, first everyone will like job, job, job. Now everyone like startup, startup. Because jobs are too hard to get. Now everyone like, okay, fine, let's do startup. But it's not how it works.
Yeah,
Everyone has their own thing to do. As I told earlier, you might be good, you might be, the best employer, or you can be the best entrepreneur. So you should figure out whether you can really survive in the market or you can really survive in the startup world. Because see, when you are coming into startup, what I have seen in Tamil Nadu, people who are CEOs of company, they lack communication. That is like one of the key things which you have to have. Like that is like mandatory thing to have when you are doing a business. Because imagine you are a CEO of a company and then you don't even know English. So
mm,
I think that is like a big red flag, I would say. And not only that, there are many things which has to be looked forward to. Your communication and your ideation, and is this really worth it to do, or is it really great to spend time on all of that is really important to do. So I would say not all the things can turn into startup. Like again, I think there was this quote which Velumani sir told, like people
yeah,
get scared that their idea someone is going to take away. But see, everyone has the same brain. It is not like you have an Einstein brain where you are the only one person who having the idea. So obviously 10 people are going to have the same idea with you. So out of which only five are going to think on it. They are going to think forward. Okay, fine. Let's see what to do with the idea. Out of that, only three will execute. Obviously, out of that, two won't execute. Three will execute, and out of that, only one will succeed. That is 100% sure. So again, it depends on how you execute. Is what it's like a sperm race kind of thing, where out of like million sperms, only one
like
sperm is going to
one will get.
fertilize. So who is going to be the one sperm is the question here.
So you're saying rather than getting job, creating a startup is easy?
Again, if you have the capability where team management, you know what really a team is, you know how to manage your money, how to manage your team, but then maybe I would say you are capable of building a startup. And then I would say you should have a little bit of influence as well. If you're building a startup, you should know contacts. I think before, like, there's this even thing, I don't know who told this, but, doing job is actually important because you get to know the experience, you get to know how really, the company really works. Because imagine you don't know anything, you just start a startup. Because I mean, I have not gone for a job, but then I had done multiple internships in companies where I know how do they run. So I think that is where I
Like we
learned,
need to
okay,
have
fine.
that basic things, what is
Yeah,
happening, like
exactly.
what,
So
how
for
does it
that, yeah,
run?
for that it is mandatory. Either you do internships or you do a 2 year job experience where you gain job experience and then you come into startup world is what I would say. Directly jumping into startup without knowing A and B, I think is kind of risky for you to survive.
So in your Capablo Tech Private
Yeah.
Limited, how do you manage the people and how difficult it is
Hmm.
managing people, getting job work done
Yeah.
from them? How do you see
So
that?
it is really hard because see, you might have a vision, right?
Yeah.
It is as especially being a student startup, everyone would be focused on placements, where they would only want to do placements, and they will feel risky to come into this thing. Bringing them in your vision, like let's do this, is very very hard to do. So it is like you have to convince them in a very sweet way, where they come into your
I guess
sweet spot,
that
and then you have
convincing
to.
part is only where it stands for a mothers.
Yeah, Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to be really smart and you have to, know what people you need. You have to convince them in a really sweet way where they come and join into your startup and you put them into the thing. And you should have the confidence within a year, it should grow where you're able to pay them also. So that is what I had told my all my interns. Where I
I'll
mean, I
trim
don't pay them.
I'll trim the first part and I'll post it.
So I had told them,
Yeah.
let's see, maybe not now, but for sure in future. No
Yeah.
matter what, I will do this in future, and you will get paid for whatever you guys deserve. Is what I had given them the trust. So keeping up that trust is also important. So that is also one side pressure. For not the pressure, but yeah, I know that I'll build it. But they should have at least few percentage of confidence that yes, this will work. So I think that is important.
So when you said this will work, how do you think of like getting a co-founder? Is it
Yeah.
mandatory that every startup need to have a co-founder like for a direction? How to find a better co-founder?
Yeah,
Like, is
okay.
it
So
really
I'll tell you
necessary?
my I'll tell you my experience. So
Yeah.
I as I told, there was this person who we started initially,
Yeah, yeah,
and later on we it was going good. She was the co-founder of the company, and everything was good. Everything was running smooth. But unfortunately, I don't know. She started having more interest in going jobs. So she quit the company in between. I mean, yeah, I mean, good for her if she really thinks that job is a good option. So I mean, okay, good for her. I'm not
yeah. Did that
forcing her in it.
affected you, like your
No,
company?
I would say no.
Yeah.
Because see, I know how strong I am and where do I really stand. So I think being as a CEO or founder of the company, you have to be strong no matter what. There will be people who will come in who will leave. That is going to happen for sure.
Mm.
Let be all the student startups who are planning to start, for sure, this is going to happen. So you'll have problems with your co-founder, you'll have problems with, you have to be ready where you have to face it. So that should not be a reason where end things up. So I think that was, a ego for me, not ego, I would say, that kind of boosted me up, I would say.
Yeah,
Because,
like I feel like
yeah,
from that Shahid went to different places, started to win more pitches,
I mean,
and started to
I mean,
explore the, if I'm not wrong.
I like exactly. So I had this confidence where I knew that I'm going to crack this no matter what.
Hmm.
So maybe if she had this trust, where if she could be like, okay, fine, this could really boom up, or if this really, will go into other way, maybe if she could have put more confidence into the company, I would say maybe she could have been. But yeah, okay, it's her decision, her life. So it's, but then I would say it's not, I personally feel it's not necessary that you should have, maybe if you have a co-founder, it's good for you. It is always good to have a person
Like
beside you, but
to find a co-founder is difficult part, right? Sometimes co-founder will take our
yeah,
money
yeah,
and run
yeah.
away, and there are
Exactly.
differences.
That is also
Like we
there.
need to have that bond and all, like to find a
Exactly.
better co-founder.
That is also important. So I think, yeah, if you have a co-founder, well and good, but if you have to be strong enough where you have to, learn how to do things alone. Because at the end, you are the founder, you are supposed to do things by yourself. You cannot expect others, to do what you really want them to. I think you have to be strong enough to face it alone, I would say.
So getting a co-founder is like you both need to have same idea. Like you need to find it is like fine-tuning the
Exactly.
model. It will be like a
Exactly.
different person you need to come and bring to the same ideology, and you both need to work on the same ideology.
Exactly. It's like you're finding, a twin of yourself.
Yeah. And the difficult part is twin might change anytime. They might go somewhere.
I mean, yeah, that
Yeah, yeah.
happens. That is why, as I told, you have to be strong enough to face everything.
So, what do you think of relationship? This nowadays people are like by fascinating. They are
Hmm.
getting influenced by this movies and all. They're like instead of probably not this. This is the age. But what do
Hmm.
you think of that?
Again, I feel that being in a relationship is not wrong unless and until the person is quite toxic, or that person, he or she is not allowing the other person to grow. For example, if I'm having a pitch event in some other state or something, you should be happy enough, or you should be motivating enough to say that go pitch, you can win, or greeting them or something, or motivating them. So if that is there, I think it is well and good. If you're having a supportive partner. If not, if you're having a partner where all the time she's toxic, or he or she is toxic or possessive, or she always stops you to go for other events, I think that is where issue starts, and you can't really do much in your life. I would say now also, if you're having restrictions where you can't, because as being as a founder, you cannot have restriction. You have to go talk to people. You have to go communicate with others. You have to you have to do a lot of things. So maybe they might not like, but that is how it works. So maybe if he or she is mature enough to understand the ecosystem, yeah, it would serve. Because I saw the story actually recently, today only I saw the story where there was this guy in IT Madras. So yeah.
So yeah, like there are so many things like lucky and all, but the end of the day, like it's destiny, right? Like, if it is written, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I feel at the end everything is written, right? You know how your life, every your life, how you're gonna, be, how you're gonna, where are you gonna be, how you're gonna be. Everything has been written up. So we need not stress on many things. We should take, I mean, stressing in the sense we should not stress about the future, right? What we are gonna do in future. Maybe if you focus on a present and you have a goal for a future, that's more than enough. And then when you work on it, accordingly things will come in automatically. Because I never knew that I am going to come into business this fast. Because but then my goal was to become a businessman, but I never knew this would come in this fast. So having a goal is important, and being consistent on that work is what is needed. So other than that, you need not stress about whatever, like what is going to happen tomorrow, day after tomorrow. You be consistent. You have to face rejections. There'll be rejections also. You have to face. There might be acceptance also. You have to face that as well. If both of the things will happen to you. I would say, like, so far in my journey, what I had seen is people who were really consistent with me, they did really great in their life so far. So people who weren't consistent, who gave up in between, they just vanished. So because there was this guy who I met in, there's a competition called GACA, which
Mm.
happens every year, which is like, it happens in every country. And from that, you have to represent, there'll be a person who will be representing the country. And there'll be a grand finale where all the countries representative will be there present there. So they have to pitch, and they'll shortlist, and at the end, one person is going to get 1 crore rupees or something is what happens. So there was this GACA Chennai which was happening. So states happen, and then country nation states which happens. So I had met that guy in Chennai. So his name is I forgot his name. So he's doing this pet product. It is a simple hardware for collars for pet. It is called My Pero. Those they have also come in Shark Tank also. So it's called My Pero, where it's a neck band. So that day he was in Chennai. The next day he was in Kerala.
Mm.
After that he was in Bangalore. After that he was in some north place, and he kept traveling for all these GSA competitions in every state. I was like, what guy is this? Because I was in second year only at that time. I was into semi final in Chennai. I don't know which guy is this? What is going? Bangalore is going, Kerala is going everywhere, and then he got qualified over there. I was like, who is this guy? And then that is where I realized that he was quite crazy and he was really consistent on his work. So from that day, and then I think after 6 months, I saw him. I don't know, after a year, I saw him in Shark Tank. So he didn't really give up on his idea till the end. So I think how much ever simple your idea is, if you don't give up and if you be consistent in that particular thing, I think you would end up somewhere good.
So, as you said, as Shark Tank, I have a different opinion on that. You think that Shark Tank and all is actually real, what they show, and like they say
Mm,
the money, that stuff, and all blah blah blah. And there is a
See,
lot of controversy, allegations on that.
so as I had already been in part of one of the reality shows, so
Yeah.
what I would say is yes, to some extent it is not. I wouldn't call it as a scam,
Mm.
but again, people who already knows the investor inside, it is a cup of a cake for them. Because for example, imagine I know you already and you're the judge of the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Obviously, you are going to tell me to come. So you're going to put me in an upper hand where you're going to tell me, okay, fine, Shahid is there, put him in the front of the line. So obviously that is one thing. Again, before you go shift, they're going to be transparent with you. They are going to be like, we have so and so. They have something called platform fees where
Mm.
you have to pay to the Shark Tank. That is
Shark.
their source of income. So they'll be transparent with you. So and so is the fees, apparent fees, whatever it
Like,
is
what
from
do you think
investor
that
you're
fees
getting. To.
is?
I think for Shark Tank it is like 13%. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure with the
Oh,
number, but
percentage.
yeah, it is with it's like some 13, 8 to 13 percentage is what I've heard. So I'm not sure with it again. So they have certain percentage of money, which that is a source of income, obviously. So that is what they have, and they have something called diligence something. It's called DD, where
Did
after yeah, after the startup where they pitch, they're going to have a cross check on all the details which they tell whatever they have pitched over there is right or not, or the valuation, or whatever investors they existing, whatever funds they have raised previously, is it really realistic, or they're trying to fake over there. So once they do the DD, they get few people get caught because few people don't. So that is also there. So again, I wouldn't tell this as a scam, but if you have a product which is really potential and which has a really attractive customer point, it would really go because there's so many, I've seen there's so many, products which has come to Shark Tank, after which only we got to know and it has gone viral.
mm,
So we know this Snitch, which is
yeah,
really
snitch.
famous in Bangalore. So before that, no one knew, but it had really great revenue. Before that, it had like 200, 300 crores revenue. After it came, it boomed more. Now that guy is somewhere. So
Yeah, like
I
there was
think
some cold drink company, there's some
exactly.
devices and all.
So I think that is important. So if you have a attractive thing in your product, if you're coming to Shark Tank, it is going to be well and good. You're just, giving your idea or just showing a prototype there wouldn't be much excitement.
So I do have another question about the AI replacing your job. What do you think on that? Like how
Uh, I,
useful it is.
Again, AI is, yeah, it is quite draining others. People with, jobs where it is too easy to do, where it
Mm.
is, within fraction of second, AI could do. But now recently they are telling that the next job which is going to get replaced is radiology. Because this radiologist, what do they do? They have this brain image, and the doctors have to find out where the tumor is, where the thing is. So now we have AI where you upload the image within seconds of time, it's going to tell where the tumor is. So again, it depends on your skill, I would say. If you're in a higher position where you're safe, maybe you could survive. But again, choosing things which is quite easy to do for a computer is quite risky nowadays. So that is what I would say.
Yeah, like you said, this computer risk and all. Like I do have a doubt as like in my city and my college and all.
Mm.
What day is like they'll hackathons, right? In hackathons, like to win that, the most of the students will take related to medical field only. Yeah, like they'll
Yeah.
to take to medical field only, and they'll be like, our AI will do this, AI will do that, and right? Like there will be fault, there will be
Yeah.
cases, they'll be like that.
I mean, see, I think India should change their syllabus because
Yeah.
still writing exams, cracking, mugging up, and I don't think that is going to work. We need more technical things. Still in India, placements is only focused on coding because it's still in my college, coding is the only one placement training which they give. There's no hardware placement. I mean, there's no hardware training. There's no technical exposure. There's no lab exposure. There's nothing. At the end, they be like, do coding, you'll get into some IT company. That's it. To me, being an biomedical engineer, I mean, coding is, yes, it is mandatory, but they should not make that as a major thing. They should know what their core is, and they should give training accordingly, I would say. Still in India, having this need, JEE, paper getting leaked again and again for no
Paper
reason,
get.
and
Yeah,
them, wasting their lives. At the end, middleman, gets the money. So
yeah,
it is just a business for them.
like coaching
So
centers
what
and
I,
getting.
yeah, exactly. They're telling that, they're sending the papers in jets and all, and still it's getting leaked. So there are people inside who already know everyone, and they are doing this thing. So again, it's the students' life is getting spoiled. There are people who are genuinely who want to use it in a good way.
So I got a question now. Like now the
Mhm.
same guy Shahid is there now. What if
Mhm.
you're the same guy is in 10th, like probably in your high school? What would you do? It's interesting, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I would go crazy. I would go attend all the hackathons. I'll go, I'll do more public speaking
Uh,
and I'll try to expose myself, to various people. And I would have been more confident, I would say. That would have been really crazy if I would done. But still, it's never too late to do anything. But because there are other two people, there are other people as well who are, waiting for your opportunity. So who wants to be, like you. So I think we should be appreciated to ourselves that okay, fine. If not also from now at least, from today
yeah.
at least.
Like, but the same 10th standard people doesn't know the seriousness of this. Yeah,
Uh,
they'll be like,
that's all
probably
about
what's in
life
future.
again.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
also didn't know. So again, it's all about life.
yeah.
Once they come to a point where they really understand what really life is, I would.
Oh, what is like probably they say engineering is the phase where you do or you learn. Like, where do you see is the turning point?
For engineers.
Yeah. Like, probably engineering, like everyone, like degree or anything. Like, which phase do you think that realization point will come after a breakup?
Okay. Re-
After,
so realization, I think, comes when you see your friends achieving few things.
mm,
So maybe imagine you are in your 10th grade. And if there was this one kid in my class who would go attend a pitch event,
uh,
obviously I would have been like, "Okay, fine, what is this?" That is how I learned.
like maybe
Because
the
there was,
curiosity would have come. Let's
yeah,
see what is
exactly.
happening.
So that is where people start realizing. So there's this thing. So normally imagine you have a banana in your hand, a banana
Mm.
or any fruit in your hand, and you have a rotten one, which is all fungus and everything. So when you keep it nearby, obviously the other one is going to spoil as
Yeah.
well. So that is, I think, a valid thing to explain, I would say. So if you be in an environment where at least one of them is, smart enough who's doing things, I think people, because in my class, people didn't have awareness on this pitch event and all of this startup and all. So when I started going and pitching everywhere, and then they realized, okay, fine, what are we doing in our life? And they also started doing few things. So I think that was a good motivation for them as well as for me as well, I would say.
The major concern is the time they get realized they would have lost it, right? Like when you come to the
Yeah,
final
I
year and
mean,
they'll be like, oh shit, I should have started from first year only.
yeah, but then again, it's not too late to start anything, I would say. So
Yeah.
it's not like because there was one of my friends, and then she was asking me like, what to do next. I was like, you still have time, go. She's like, I still, I'll tell you in Tamil. She's like, இப்போ என்ன இருக்கு எல்லாம்
Mm.
முடிஞ்சிச்சு, it is fourth year, என்ன பண்றது அப்படின்னு. Like, so you still have 8 months left in your hand. Utilize that wisely. You never know, that could really change your life up. You never know. So again, you should never underestimate the time which you have. So imagine people who have passed out, so they can't, come again and have the 8 months. You have that 8 months left with you.
So how was your discovering that hardware part? Can you bit explain about that hardware device?
Yeah. So normally, I didn't ever told more about my startup side. That
Yeah.
so actually, so actually, one of my friends was an ambute actually. So he
Uh,
was in a hand ambute. So I used to always wonder how does he really manages, to drink or eat. So when I went and asked him, and then he did, yeah, I do struggle a lot. His mom helps him out, or he has one hand, so he eats in one hand. So he's really a great athlete. But only one thing which stopped him was his disability, which I really used to think that, they should have the access to, thing where they're able to, do things. I never knew bionic arm existed at that time. So it was, buried into me. It never came out. So when I came to college and when I chose biomedical engineer, so when this thing happened where, I started going for pitch events and all, and that is where I realized why not, and then that really came up, it just popped up into my mind, why not that? And then when I started doing more deep research on it, and I saw still today, casting is the only method which has been used to make prosthetics. If you see any clinics, if you go, any prosthetic centers, they only use casting, where they cast up a patient using PUP, and then they take that as a measurement thingy, and then they manually they do the molding and everything happens.
yeah.
So I was like, when AI is growing, when everything is being so digital, why not a device where it could scan and then could 3D print? So, and then I started working on it. And then I realized that there's no such device which can do. And then when I did a deep research, there was something called bioscanners, which could really scan your limb, but it is not going to give you your internal structures. For example, your skin depth or your pressure points, it is not going to give you. It's only going to give you the shape. For example, if you have a rectangular shape, it is going to give you have a rectangular shape. That's it. That is where I started developing this prototype where it is going to scan your limb, and that is where I think this started, and I started doing that, and I used to do 3D printing with all the material which is there. And still, I would say 3D printing is not still, I mean, yeah, in foreign it is really great. India has not still adopted to 3D printing because nowadays they're 3D printing buildings itself. So I think 3D printing is the next big, tech which is going to boom, I would say, because there are silicon 3D printing, there are screws which is getting 3D printed. So imagine if you do that, normally for a mold, it costs you a lot. So when you have 3D printing machine, that is going to charge you very minimal.
Like
I think that is
I have seen in our
Mm.
IIT house is built by 3D printer.
Exactly. So I think imagine a house which is getting built using
Yeah,
3D
yeah.
printing. Why not this? So I think that is the next big, domain which is going to boom for sure. That is my bet on 3D printing. So that is where I thought, okay, why not, make 3D printing stumps? So that maybe not now, if the technology is not ready, at least today, maybe at least in future, that might really work out is what I believe, I would say.
So, what is the next scope of your like 5 years roadmap? What is your goal
Mm,
in your bionic arm?
so I know in this 1 year, I'm going to come in the market. So I'll be scaling up nationally this next year, and within that year, after that year, I'll scale internationally. So I'll say one thing: if people are ready to adopt my business nationally, well and good, it's going to go good. If not, I will try to take this internationally. I'll validate there, and then I'll come back to India, and then I'll validate. Obviously, once they get to know, okay, fine, it's a foreign product, people will buy here automatically.
And
Uh,
I got a question. Like, you think
hmm.
the foreign product works better than the Indian product in India market? Yeah, like
The-
I saw a podcast where they say
Hmm.
that.
All we are
So
is
here,
what
I
my guess.
guess two things plays a major
Hmm.
role. One is like affordability, and another thing is
Exactly.
reaching. Like they should get to know, right? There is a bionic arm which will work,
Exactly.
actually works.
So yeah, so that is why we are working on an arm which is like detachable, where you can detach and attach. So bionic arms, I think that is too limited. You cannot tie your lace. It is not still perfect where you can't write, you can't do minute things. You can't like open a jar. It is only like you can hold. That's it. It's like open close. That's it. So I think
What is the budget of that, bro? Like one bionic arm, how much expect? Like how does?
uh, so the existing one, as of now, it goes in lakhs. It
Yeah.
goes like 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs to 15 lakhs. So we are bringing in a price range of 50 to 80,000. Not 50,000 also. 30 to 50,000 is what we are bringing on. Is what we are trying to do. I would say.
So we actually did a podcast with a guy where, as you said, he was also saying it is like 5 to 6 lakhs, where he was able to do in 80,000. Like it is functional. Like they can tie
Yeah,
lace
yeah.
and all. They can run. They can do like what Ant does. He he can do. The my question is like the guy with no research lab, R&D lab, like good professor only. Like yeah, bro. Like I guess we are end of the video. Like we spoke for an 1.5 hour. Maybe
Crazy.
ranted about something, what and all. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You wanna say anything finally to the people who have watched it till now?
Mm, I would say whatever you're doing in your life, just make sure it is making yourself happy. Just don't do it for others, do it for yourself, and have three things in your mind. One is determination, hard work, and consistency. So if you have this three, you are going to end up in somewhere good place else.
So I just wanna say to the people like who have watched it till now that the Shahid is the most sweetest guy, humble guy till now I have met. I'm not just buttering, so it is the fact.